I like the tank art. That's dope.
It's a custom. Number 16 out of 150.
No kidding. Damn it. Well, unfortunately, the trade-in deal that I was working with the dealership didn't work out, and I completely understand. They were actually giving me a really good offer on a different bike and willing to give me what I was looking for on my trade-in. However, the bike was a little bit out of my budget, and that's the thing, right? Like, you get pumped up, you get excited. This other bike was very nice looking, and I'll be honest, like, I wanted it, right? But this is where it comes down to, is this the right deal for you? Is this what you're looking to get yourself into? And financially, I didn't want to be there. So instead, I ended up having to sell my Softail private party, and that's okay, because now I'm coming in with no extra baggage, right? I don't have a trade-in to worry about. It's just straight up dollars. So at this point, the negotiation process is a little bit different, because now we're just talking about price of the bike. And so as you work through that process, it's going to be different than if you had a trade-in or if you're doing financing, depending on which way you're going. So if you're doing a trade-in, like I said, we kind of went through that process, a little bit of back and forth. If you're doing financing, or if you're going in straight cash, that negotiation is going to be different in that, one, understand that the old term or old saying of cash is king isn't always necessarily true, especially in today's market. Understand that, especially on used bikes, the price margin isn't as big as it is on a new bike. And then there's depreciation. Okay, so like, if you're going in there, you're buying a used bike, know that their profit margin is going to be that large. And if you're doing cash, it's, they have less opportunity to make money from you. If you're financing, regardless of what it is you're financing, understand that those, unless they're doing in-house financing, which some places do, the bike is essentially being sold to the bank, and they're collecting that money from the bank. And if they can do add-ins, they will, not because they're trying to just get you for more money. I mean, it is part of the model, but it's not in a bad way, right? So maybe they're offering you the extended warranty, and if you need that peace of mind, great. They're going to spread those payments out over the course of the loan, which is going to make that dollar amount lower. Now, if you're a cash buyer, that's a whole totally different story, because walking in, it's a harder sell for somebody to tell you, we want to give you this extended warranty, but you're going to have to pay an extra $5,000 on top of the bike you just spent, say, 20 grand on, right? So that's a harder sale to do. And again, depends on you. Like, if it makes sense to you financially, then I'd say go for it. There are many things you need to think about when it comes to the extended warranties. They'll tell you stuff like, hey, you'll have a $50 deductible. If your motor blows out on you, don't worry, you just bring it to us and you pay $50 and we'll replace the motor for you. And the argument is, can you replace a motor for $50? No, you can't, but the reality is nobody can. And I think I mentioned this in the first video, in that ultimately you're paying for that over the course of the 3 years, whatever warranty you buy. So just keep that in mind, right? What is that warranty really costing you? So again, add-ins, you probably won't get many, if any of those, if you're a cash buyer. If you're financing, they're going to throw them on you, right? And again, it's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I'm just saying, expect that. Expect to be offered, whatever stuff that they offer, Scotchgard, I don't know, right? So keep that in mind. Now, my next step is I'm going in to go with the dealership and to talk about the out the door price of the bike. So, understand that the price that they list on the website or on the little tag, that's just the price of the bike. That doesn't include tax, title. That doesn't include dealer prep fees or whatever, freight or whatever fees they want to tack on. That's not in that price. So when you have that conversation with the dealer, and I recommend doing this conversation before you even talk about financing, is get the out the door price, because you really need to understand how much you're actually paying. You may be thinking you're going in there for a $10,000 bike and riding away on a $15,000 bike after all of the tax, title, fees, and everything else like that. And then if you finance it, and if that interest rate is high enough, you might be riding away on a $20,000 bike. So do the math, take your time. Again, find an opportunity to take a break. All right, so let's see what's next in the steps here. We're going back to the dealership. All right, so I'm just leaving the dealership where I talked through some prices or some numbers on a Road King, and things are looking really, really good. They understand that I'm a returning customer, so they take care of me, and by that's again, they treat me good, so of course that wins my loyalty as a customer. Good customer service to me like trumps even a bad product sometimes, right? Like if you had a crappy product but they always took care of you, like they swapped it out, no questions asked, any of that stuff, man, that's how you get some really good customers coming back to you. So it's kind of a similar situation. Now I'm off to lunch. I had mentioned that I was gonna take that break, and this gives me an opportunity to kind of think through the numbers, make sure I'm not missing anything. Going through the numbers, again, you want to look line by line. Ask the questions too, like understand what it is that you're being charged for. And the other question you should ask is it optional? Because some stuff, just understand, it's not optional, right? Like taxes, not an option. You got to pay your taxes. If you don't, Wesley Snipes, baby, right? So you want to make sure you understand what those things are. So if you see something like on this particular case, they offer a lifetime battery deal, right? And what that means is, at the dealerships, those bikes, they get started and stopped all the time, but they never almost ever get ridden because they don't want them being ridden, right? Like they don't want to throw more miles on a bike because it's less attractive to customers. So by that starting and turning off of the bikes on a regular basis, that puts wear and tear on the battery. So you can get options like that where it may be a couple $100, but you get basically batteries for the lifetime of you owning the bike. So if that's worth it to you, because batteries can be expensive, then that's an option, right? So there are different things like that. I kind of liken it to like getting the seats on your car Scotch guarded, right? So they may offer that to you. And you say, nah, you know what, I'm good, right? Like I actually own a can of Scotch Guard or whatever it is, right? You don't necessarily have to take that deal, but again, just all you have to do is ask the question, and ask the question too, like, what can you do for me on the price? And if because a lot of people, I think, they struggle with asking how to lower the price on a vehicle, because it's kind of awkward. It's like, you just get uncomfortable. So, don't take the direction of, well, I drove a long way, or, oh, I'm already going to have to pay for, these things to be done. They posted it, what it is. So those are your problems, right? Those are things that you decided, knowing that information, knowing that it was 200 miles away or whatever it is, that you were still interested in that bike. So that's not on them to cut down the price. But when it comes to options, and then looking at the market, right? So again, keep in mind, they have to have a profit margin in there, but understanding what they're willing to do based on what the market price is, and looking at it, that kind of stuff. So off to lunch for me, and hopefully after lunch I'll be returning back to the dealership and jumping on a new to me Road King, right? So see you in a bit. All right, guys, so I'm back at the dealership. It's time to sign, so you'll get a shot of what this thing looks like shortly. Okay, so dealership experience is over. Let's do this wrap up really quick. I know this has been a little bit of a longer series, and again, I just want to share with you the experience, just kind of my tips as far as making it as comfortable as possible. Again, it's it's one of those things that you don't do often, so it takes you out of your element, and depending on how you view the process may make you very uncomfortable. So I'm hoping what I share with you in this series makes the experience a little bit better. You can kind of plan ahead, use these little tips to make it a better overall experience by, like I said, go in the morning. Don't try to do it at the end of the day, because then you're going to feel rushed. You're going to have to make quick decisions, and that can be very frustrating. That really takes away from the excitement and the focus of what you're actually there to achieve. So start in the morning. That way you can negotiate the pricing. Once you think you've got it down to where you want it to be, then take lunch, take a break, think it through. This way it gives you the opportunity to do it without, I would say, pressure, if you feel like there's pressure there. In my case, it wasn't any pressure. Did I ever get asked what it would take to make the deal today? Absolutely. It's a business for them, right? They need to make sales, but at the same time, it wasn't like in a manner that made me feel pressured. It was a simple question. Hey, Mike, what would we have to do to get your business today? And you can always counter that. Well, okay, great. Drop the price X number of dollars, or, is it possible to throw in X to the deal, whatever it is, right? So you can use those opportunities in your favor, or you can dread them. That's up to you. So for me, at the end of the day, we were able to sit down at the table, talk through some numbers, and here's where we landed. So we landed with a 2007 Harley Davidson Road King. This is the Twimcan 96, and in a very gorgeous blue. Now, I did a lookup on not any of the numbers, but just basically what colors did Harley offer the Road King in 2007. And from what I read, this should be a blue pearl. And I gotta say, it looks amazing. I love this blue. Now, because it is an 07, it's been sitting for a little bit, and it's an old bike. It's over a decade old. So there's a lot of cleanup that needs to be done. We'll do a walkthrough on this bike in a separate video, but I just wanted to share the overall experience and where I landed. So I hope you enjoyed the video series. I do apologize that it's long, but there's a lot of information to share, and I want to make sure I bring you the most value I can, and hopefully make your overall experience better. So if you enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up. If you enjoyed the content and you're looking forward to many, many more videos, then become a subscriber. And if you don't want to miss out on that next video, hit the notification bell. And until that next video does post, I hope to see you in the wind.